Today is May 1st, 2026. Okay. Yesterday, on April 30th, 2026, in Alliance, I went to Walmart. Also, after that, I went to Walmart 62. It was another, oh my God, day. Okay. There was this thin, plain blonde girl. Been around me for a long time. She claims she's Agent John's girlfriend. Shows up with her friends, makes fun of my clothes, that he has her help watch me. I'm sure the FBI wouldn't appreciate that. And they were even saying when they walked by, okay, how dumb are these people? You can't we listened to her explain it to her husband, the scenarios they made up, okay? Nobody can get away with this. Nobody. How dumb are they making up those scenarios? And you have no proof. Okay? You can't just roofie someone. You can't just make up a mean joke. You actually have to be seen for injuries and prosecuted. You can't just make it up. You sure can't just roofie someone. How dumb are these people? Well, other people were talking because they sold the login the first month of the case. For Will found another way of making money off the case. He's selling the login for $25 a pop. Went viral. Other people at Karen's Will's here. Okay. We listened to her explain to her husband the different scenarios they were making up trying to get away with this and how she didn't know. How dumb are they? Nobody would fall for that. You can't just say something like that. You can't just drug somebody. You can't just roofie them. You just can't make up something. You actually have to have proof of something like that in prosecution. You can't just do that and steal. Okay? I have some other idiot calling me a weirdo. Not a weirdo, you are. Then another guy comes in the front of Walmart. I listened to that tape of her calling that guy that was saying that offended him, called him reprobate. And that everybody should go up and testify to him of what God did for him. That'll teach him. I liked it. Okay. All right. We go down, and I had forgot some things, and I went to Walmart 62. That was Walmart Alliance. Go to Walmart 62. It's either Walmart Alliance or Walmart 62. Two girls are following me. Right? Two girls are following me, and they said, my mom's pretending to be a psychiatrist and told everybody, not to help her, not to believe her. Can't believe they fell for it. Everybody fell for it. We told them not to believe her, not to help her, and people are going along with it. Can you imagine that? It's just us saying it. My mom was just telling people she was a psychiatrist. She's no psychiatrist. Well, of course she's not, because no real psychiatrist would act like that. It's illegal. Get the idea? And they're mocking everybody for falling for it. Get the idea? I mean, if you pull both Walmarts, they tape an audio in every aisle. It's a hot mess. Other people saying we listened to her explain to her husband what the scenarios they were making up trying to get away with this. She did it perfectly. And how she didn't know. Other ones we heard when they yelled at her, how they drugged her and told her to say it before, how she ran in the bathroom and threw up and then had diarrhea. She didn't know. I didn't know anything. See, to me, you could all be playing me. I never had anybody in my home. I had family repair guys and two silly officers on August 8th of 18. at midnight, lighting the security system. Came out and said it looked like an alien or a angry spirit. Told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. Second week, 6th day up there, somebody kicked on my door of the wall, and Dave made up excuses to everyone not to report it because a realtor could be passed out case. They don't pass out case. That was the lockbox. We already took the key out of the lockbox the first day. That's when the button cameras were supposed to run up the legal stalking tapes. By the second week, I got bruises all over me, throwing up, and the well water is orange, but it's chunky. It's gross. You have to take a fast shower. You have to wash your hands. We brought in bottled water to cook and drink. We had to get a water treatment system out there, and it took them a couple months to order the big system we needed. Because it had to go through rocks and all this other stuff, and then it had to have germicidal bleach. It had several types of iron in it. That's where all like the rust and stuff. I thought it was toxic because my personal area is swollen, pushed down, open, screamed when I peed, had bruises all over me. I thought it was giving me cancer. I thought I was dying. It's just rapist. These people laughed at me last year. They were hiding in rooms, and as I walked by, they'd reach out and just jab me with one of those injections where you go, ow, something bit me or something like that. And here you've been injected with a drug, and you go sit down, and the room would go dizzy and black. And then the drugs and told us, say it with hypnotic drugs, photoshopped of washing and stocking tapes by rapists. And you're being raped by people you never seen or talked to. And drugged up and told to say stuff by rapists. And people making fun of me. It's like, what are you making fun of? Okay. People were also talking about April 29th, 2026 in Myers and Alliance. That was another hotbed place. Up by the front, before we leave, there's girls off in the distance. We found out your family stole over $5 million from the case. Is that what's going on? Yeah, we taught her a lesson not to say anything. We took her money. Well, the only way they could have took my money is identity theft. I have never been prosecuted for anything. I've never been found guilty. I've never been sued. So how would you get my money? You have to be a fake Karen. So it's nothing great legal mumbo jumbo. It's just identity theft. Get the idea? See, that's where, okay, I sent it to the sheriff's departments, the prosecutor's office. They already know. I've talked to Mike DeWine's cousin, Sheriff David. Went out to eat with him a couple of years ago. He wanted to know if our police were slow. That they should have arrested that agent the first day for telling on me for calling the hotline. He doesn't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It's illegal. He can't talk to you like that. Then he left you there and stole your money. What is wrong with your local police? Why don't they arrest him? Okay. My friend Walter used to work at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office. He told me, he said, you know, that agent's only a higher police officer. It takes a judge and a jury trial due to the freedom of speech. He doesn't even have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It's actually illegal. The police know that. Can't be in a court order. No judge could sign it. You get your money for risking your life to get the government information and only risking your life. And I said, well, I already told on me. Then he confessed on a recorded line. He's already met with everybody in his office. They already know the FBI is involved. He can't tell on you, but you can tell whatever you want. He can't say a word. No judge could take your freedom of speech away, except for in like a jury trial or something like that. And it has to be him doing it. And agents are only police officers, higher ones, but they don't have the authority, and he can't write up something and sign something that they don't even have the authority to say, and then it's illegal. I looked it up. It's a federal crime. I talked to a criminal attorney, said the same thing, and then other police I talked to. Well, I Googled what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent to tell an informant if they say something they won't get their money. Oh, like 20 to life. Yeah. It is tampering with a witness. It is obstruction to justice, tampering with evidence, blackmail. And if they do take the money, it is theft out of government funds and extortion out of government funds, and it can go into crimes against the U.S. government because you're stealing from the government. That's how much you can't say it. That's how much you can't do it. Just like an FBI agent cannot tell a victim or informant if they tell anybody anything that they won't help them. It's tampering with a witness, badgering, bullying, and obstruction to justice. If they tell someone they can't help them, it can go into attempted murder. That's 20, 30 to life in federal. You can't tell on a victim calling for help. You can't tell anybody they can't help me. And you cannot tell me if I say something that I won't get my money. All these are federal crimes. Now I want you to think about that. Well, today out in the mall, another hot mess. People off in the distance. I don't want to hear it. Honestly, don't want to hear it. People showing up and okay, I want you to get the idea of what's going on. Years ago, I got extremely thin when they were drugging the hell out of me. I got down to like 130 pounds. I was a size 4, and they had people call me fat. And they said, why are you calling her fat? She doesn't even have fat on her. And they said they don't want her strong enough to even work because they just want to kill me off. Get the idea? Or something. Then, like even 2 years ago, I had a dog bite. Okay? I had a hard time eating for a while because the dog bit me in my stomach and then pulled. And so even the doctor had me suggested that I, like don't eat bread, don't do this. So I ate a lot of salads. People would come in where I was going to get a salad buffet. They said to call her fat so she won't eat so much salad. We won't do it. They said they just want her thinner so they can sell her. We won't do it. Okay? Get the idea. So today, where I have gained a little weight, showed up and was saying stuff about me being fat. That can't all be water weight. No, it's not. It's pure fat. Realize that it's pure fat. You can kiss my fat ass. Okay? Other guys talking about, we've seen where she sent in how illegal it is for an agent to say that he can't tell her if she says something, he's going to withhold her money. Or she won't get it. He can't take it. It's a federal crime. Yeah, I know. Huh? And then we found out those girls were laughing that lady that's telling people she's a psychiatrist, that she's not even one. They're lying about it, and she's been playing us all. And they're telling everybody not to help her, and it's just them saying it. You're slow, right? What part of it? Everything's a lie, everything is a scam you didn't understand in 18? Well, yeah, they were laughing at you people. Walmart. Some girl saying my mom's running around telling everybody she's a psychiatrist, telling everybody not to believe her or help her. Can you imagine? It's just us telling them that, and they're going along with it, and they're laughing. And it's just us saying it. She's no psychiatrist. No psychiatrist would act like that. See, that's where some common sense need to come in. Some common sense. You know, where that stupid woman's supposed to be in my area and people are saying stuff when I'm out walking. How she's watching me in my home. And they're not calling the cops on her. I am outraged. I thought somebody come up to me and say they got button cameras in somebody's home. I'd ask your name, and then I called the cops on you. I'd ask for your phone number, your name, and I call the cops on you, and I get your license plate. These people don't, oh, they have tapes of where their stuff, the shower scene in the other room. Then put it together, lady scamming me, stalking me, and she photoshopped that? See, that's where those people, where I never seen her talk to anybody. I never had anybody in my home. They all could be playing me. Where people showed up and were yelling stuff at me years ago. And people yell back at them, you used amnesia drugs on her. She'll never remember. You can be mean as you want. So they yelled at me. So I ran to the bathroom and I vomited. At one point, I had to keep turning around. It was coming out both ends. I was so horrified. And I went and talked to my friend Jim. He was alive still then. And he said, Karen, that'd be awful if somebody played with you like that. I said, I had real bruises. I had orange, lemon, gray, precise bruises. I thought the well water was giving me cancer. Severely infected, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, going to the doctor for it. I said, I kept blaming the well water. I never seen her talk to anybody. He said, Karen, that'd be horrible. I said, I was seen for those real injuries. And nobody thought of a rapist, and I thought it was a well water. And now they're laughing at me in front of people in stores. Well, a client came over, and he was out for a walk. And he told him, he said, I can't have her around me anymore. I'm in stores, and people are saying they drugged her and told her to say da-da-da-da. And I said, I told you they're laughing at me in front of people in stores. Now they photoshopped a shower scene. And how would you like rapists playing with you like this? They're nothing but rapists. Con men. Big scam. Now, see, that's where I had a dog bite attorney said you have to have certain things to even have a case. You have to prove you were injured. You have to go to the hospital. Okay? You have to be seen for injuries. You have to have pictures of injuries. You have to have treatment for the injuries. You have to have a police report. You have to have an investigation. You have to have physical evidence that person or animal did it. I had to have DNA on my coat from the dog latching onto my arm and will let go. See, that's where I told him I went to the hospital. I have the medical report. I have pictures of the bruises. Will it match up to the medical report what the doctor documented? Yes. Did you, and you got set up for a treatment plan? Yes. Did you notify the police? Yes. I want to know who you talked to, how you did it, da-da-da-da-da. Sent to him, and who notified the dog warden, because you have to know the dog warden. No, so they do an investigation. Now you got to prove responsibility. I said, well, I got a witness. You pay witnesses off. That's not good enough. You have to prove that dog did it, because they could always say another dog did it. And you have to have physical evidence. I said, well, where that dog bit through my coat, I still have the puncture marks, and where it latched on, I have its DNA and its sloppers on my coat. I haven't washed it. She's like, now you got a case. Until you have all that, you don't even have a case. So, do these people have an attorney? Where they say, oh, an attorney, da-da-da-da, is gonna da-da-da. It's all bullshit. Melissa's mean games that pretend they were sitting around laughing, making it up. Like Flora said, of course it never happened. Of course it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games that pretend. And like Officer John said, what did they get tape stating? They made everything up. And then Officer Mark talking about Melissa could go to jail for involving herself. And other ones, how Melissa made it up when I was fishing with Dave, how stupid she was trying this. Yeah. And they talked about her lying in different states. Even other clients heard them talk about Melissa lying. Who's that crazy Melissa? They all talk about lying. October 5th, 21. They're documenting me, Joseph, the Maslin police said. The 2 FBI agents in Belden look like my son Joshy. Okay. March 23rd, 23, he walked in Walmart 62. We told these people stay out of it. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. And it's just some lady thought she could make money off of it. Okay? Now, I want you to think about documenting me jokes. Like Officer Mark said, Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. Why don't we just write it up that her and the kids were showing off for David and his new girlfriend? I'd hate to arrest her. Kids are little. So they're documenting me jokes. The Maslin police told Mount Carmel, Illinois. Now, and how they ought to be ashamed, sitting around laughing, making up stuff behind my back. Nobody went to the hospital. There's no police report. There's no pictures of injuries. There's no treatment for injuries. It's a me joke to scare me out of my house. That's all they are, is jokes. So does she have an attorney for me jokes? No, it's a scam. They think I'm stupid. There's no police investigation. The police already came up to me and the FBI, how they caught them, and they taped them saying that they were lying during the FBI case. She's wrote up as interfering in an FBI case. It's on a record with the FBI case being open. You do realize that. And that her kids are me jokes. Okay. So, with nobody getting hurt, no treatment, no prosecution, no nothing, because they're mean jokes. Does she have an attorney for mean jokes? No attorney would take them. Then where they drugged me and told me to say horrible stuff before. As a bitch move. Now, as Dr. Haben on Fink Road said, where he was a kids' pediatrician from 1984 to 2002, the kids had their yearly checkups, and then being boys playing with other kids, they had colds, ear infections, bronchitis. So they were seen probably 3 or 4 times a year for 18 years because they would get colds. They would get bronchitis. They would pneumonia, where COVID goes around now. Back in the 80s and 90s, pneumonia was around. They just flat out called it pneumonia. So, yeah, you would get it was just one thing or another. I mean, you have 3 little boys, somebody's got some kind of cold, then they pass it around. And then they go out with their friends and they play, and somebody, it just happens. They have a lot of friends, then it happens. Kids get sick. Okay. So they were seen 3 or 4 times a year for 18 years. 1984 to 2002. Like he said in 2002, and he told June 7th, 25 to the investigators. He had seen those kids for 18 years, several times a year. There was no sign of any abuse. There was no neglect, and they were very well taken care of. They were normal, happy children. Okay. So that's where on Thanksgiving of 18, when I asked John what was going on, he didn't know. He had told his ex-wife, Melissa, that we were going to be going through a divorce, I'd be moving out, and that the church people she'd have her church people and the kids make up something, but don't worry about it, Mom. No one can say anything bad about you, okay? Just be made up because of the divorce. He's the one, a couple years later, asked me to be a reliable name on a court record, he was trying to get custody of his kids. When Melissa pulled the means down of sneaking in his house, hiding, he come out of the bathroom, she lunged at him, screaming. So he shoved her. He was startled. Now you had him arrested for domestic violence. That's breaking and entering. He lost his kids for a year, and he was trying to get custody back. He said, Mom, I'd like you to be a reliable name on a court record to watch Kenzie Carrington out. I said, John, I work 2 jobs. I can't help you. I'm so sorry. He said, Mom, if you don't help me, I'll lose him. And I said, John, I don't make enough to barely make it now. I'm sorry I can't help you. But Mom, these are my kids. And he's pleading with me and I feel horrible. But I barely made it up to then. I mean, one job I think only made $10 an hour. I mean, I barely made it. I didn't get off one job, let alone another. And I told him, I'm so sorry, I can't help you. He lost his kids. He moved to Florida years ago. He met another woman. He got remarried. They started their own church. He looks very happy now. Now, would he have an attorney for anything? No. Is he part of having his mother drug being raped in a drug scam? No. I found out last June 13th, 14th, they had somebody impersonate him, asking people to help kill me while my real son's in Florida. My real son would never ask anybody to kill his mother or have me harmed. You get that? They had somebody impersonate him. I found out. Well, we've been talking to John's in Florida for years. We don't know if they had somebody impersonate him. These people are a handful. So, does he have an attorney when he's never been seen or injuries, treatments? No, not more than normal kid stuff. You know what I mean? Get the idea? Does he have any, when there's no sign of any abuse, no neglect, and very well taken care of children? Because everybody gets a scrape or a scratch or something like that. That's nothing. When you fall down and you're playing baseball or something stupid. That's not abuse. That's playing sports. You know what I mean? When he's never been treated for any kind of abuse, no neglect, and very well taken care of. And July 26, 25, an FBI agent from 18 shows up. Now it says in Walmart, I told that couple never to say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. Said nothing bad ever happened to him. The rest of her boys were speaking highly of her. So he's already told the FBI in 18. Nothing bad happened to him because nothing did. Because do you realize how big a fool you would look like? You're asking this person to babysit your children and be a reliable name on a court record. You're telling everyone no one can say anything bad about her. Oh. Then you tell an agent nothing bad happened to you because nothing did. Because you're never seen for any kind of any abuse. You're never treated for it. There's no investigation, no prosecution because it never happened. And then you're going to say you're part of a roofie and having your mom beaten and raped? Go to jail for that. You get the idea? Like they said, they can't make up stuff like that and have no proof, and you can't just roofie somebody. And I told you, when they first yelled out stuff like that at me, they could all be playing me for all I know. I never seen her talk to them. Like they said, they were hiding in rooms, and as I walked by, they just jabbed me real quick. You go like, ow, what bit me? Here you've been stabbed. Go sit down in the room, goes dizzy and black. Come out of it hours later, what on earth? And then you're throwing up and dizzy, going to the doctor. What on earth is wrong with me? Here you're being drugged, beaten, raped in your own home, drugged up and told to say stuff. It's real funny when rapists do that and they prey on you in your home. You don't even know they're there. You don't know who did it. I want you to think about this. I want you to think hard. How not funny this is. He doesn't have an attorney because he'd have no legal leg to stand on. What, you're a part of having your mother drugged, beaten, raped? My son wouldn't do that. He's been in Florida. Just like where they try to say that was Danny and Jen reported the tape of Weird with herself. And when I went to him, I said, did you know they set up body cameras in my home? No. Did you know about a shower scene in the other room? They're of washing yourself, put it in the other room, photoshopped? They're laughing at me in front of people in stores. Did you know that? No. And I said, did you know where I had the orange, lemon, and grapefruit-sized bruises almost passing out in front of people? Did you know they were drugging me and beating me and they're laughing? They told me to say weirdo molester stuff. Did you know that? No, I didn't know anything. Get the idea? Nor would they have part of it. Are we getting the idea? Getting the idea? They won't have any part of it. And they lied on Joshy. Joshy had no idea. Wasn't part of it either. Get the idea? They just ran around to the separate and destroy thing. Just tell enough lies on everyone so no one will talk to anyone and so they can get away with their scam. See, John don't have an attorney. Why would he have an attorney for? He's never seen for abuse. Never been prosecuted for it. Never treated for it. As a matter of fact, the doctor even verified he was never abused. A real MD doctor. See, you look like a damn fool. Get the idea? He sure as hell went ahead and asked me to be a reliable name to be on a court record. See, my son's in Florida. They had somebody impersonating trying to pull their con off. Like they said, even those girls, how dumb are these people trying this? There's no proof of any kind of abuse on anybody. You can't just have mean jokes or roofie someone. You actually have to have proof it happened in prosecution and treatment for it. You can't just make something like that up. I know. That's where in January, when lady investigators, these church people need to realize how dumb they are. All they're saying is they drugged her and told her to say it before, and they'd have somebody verify they were part of having her drugged and told to say it before, and there was no crime before. You have to prove there was a crime. They had been treated. And there was no one. See, they just made it up. They thought if they made me out to be a dirty person, they could kill me in front of anybody. Nobody cared. And I'm not. They just lied. Think of that. People run around lying. How would you like to be me? I stand in horror at people in their ignorance. You know where those girls were laughing? My mom's running around telling everybody she's a psychiatrist, telling people not to help her, not believe her, and they're falling for it. My mom's no psychiatrist, and they're actually falling for it. Laughing in Walmart. Some guy yelled out today, that lady's been playing you, all of us. Yes, you damn fool, yes. What part of that weird Eric they all talked about, they said it was him, November 1822, all the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people to turn on, they fell for it. Well, if it was only you, I could take care of it. I know it's that bad, and they still fell for it. Or June 7th, 23. FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before. Oh, come on now. It was only a stunt. What do you mean that FBI agent fell for it? You mean John fell for it? You're kidding. You mean that FBI agent John fell for the stunt on tapes before that were only a stunt? And the name and title and cackle. Or how about August 5th, 25? As if Agent John didn't know they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. He was telling everybody he knew she was being drugged, beaten, raped, and didn't care before the case started. He even let him torture her as he's some kind of coward. Oh. How about March 27th, 25, of an investigator getting it out of that family? They made everything up about being offended, and everybody was lying in that office when they met with that agent. To Dave letting a girlfriend from before me use my medical insurance, and him and her were scamming me to get a job at my dad's factory. Oh, and he got it all that Michelle, that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is, and when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. It didn't work. They have it also April 17th, 25. April 24th, 25. May 26th, 25. And then November 23rd, 25. This whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was already connected to us, so we went to him. And he said that they could run the scam on her if they made sure he got everything in the divorce. December 1st, 25, Walmart 62. Michelle showed up in my office. So these people confessed this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. They all were. If you listen to September 30th, 25, it was Dave's ex-girlfriend, Michelle. The other Michelle, that it was her family's debt to drug dealers. They were in there to con the FBI out of money. Took him out of it. Told you Strange hated the government. You won't listen. You heard other people say how much they knew he hated the government. His people were in there to trick government out of money. They were, like they said, that agent needs to realize all those people were in there just to rob him. I know. December 1st, 25, Walmart 62. They still have it. An investigator coming in. Michelle showed up in my office, let me know that these people already confessed this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. And that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied he was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is. And that guy Pete running his mouth about her. Is just some guy Dave hired on his own. She don't even know who he is. And these people admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before, and she has no memory of these people. And that tape of Weird With Yourself is nothing but photoshopped washing in the shower in the other room. The whole thing's a scam to extort money from the government. Okay? That's all it is. So now I want you to think about this. I've even been told that Agent John, that you told those weirdos that were in your office that you didn't care what happened to me. That you don't care about rape victims. And people getting even with some crazy person, they didn't care. I'm not a crazy person. They are, for walking in your office trying to scam you. I was raised better. My God. And that you didn't care about victims. I hope you were only acting that way. Now I want you to think I called the FBI hotline, cried my eyes out. Okay? Next day the phone's ringing. They had drugged me up so bad that time I couldn't wake up all the way. I had rivers of tears running down my face. I kept saying I can't. Let it go to voicemail. And woke up later, had to hold onto the wall to get to the bathroom, to the refrigerator. Got back at bed, listened to the voicemail. This is Agent, did it call me back? I can't. I fell back to sleep. Second day, I'm not much better. Third day, I made myself get up. I'm sitting on the front porch holding my head. I feel drunk. And I don't drink. What is wrong with me again? Got enough air in my face? I called one of my witnesses. They said they'd witness for me. Went out and bought a card with that agent's number in it. Made it an excuse to go down the mall before church. I dropped it off at her work. Her manager put it in her locker. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer got in Dave's face. My God. I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. That's the first time I've seen Officer John. Matter of fact, I thought he was the agent that told on me. But he was, I don't know, but he was in the sanctuary. Okay. And Dave told Danny, I overheard him say that when I walked off, that agent walked up to him. So that couldn't have been Agent John. But Officer John was there. He was there. He was sitting in the service. I walked right by him. First time I seen him. He's screaming, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right over there. I walk off real quick. As he's screaming, how dare you bring the FBI up here with threats on her life. Women walk up. He knows she's being drugged, being raped. He said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises. I lost 18 pounds. I severely infected, and I thought it was the dirty well water. I never talked to anybody, never even had my neighbors in my home. I had family repair guy and insulation guys, and 2 silly officers on August 8th of 18 came out lighting the security system at midnight. We only had 3 cameras on the outside. Front porch, back porch, side yard. We didn't have anything inside. And they told me I looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle. They didn't want to bother. I didn't have anybody else in my home. Okay. So those, I thought it was the well water. My heart is sinking into my stomach. I go in the sanctuary. I walk by Officer John. And then there's a guy in a real shiny suit, like growling at these people. How dare these people? How dare they? And he's mad. I go in and I sit down. Those girls follow me. He knows she's being drugged, beat, and raped. He said he didn't care. If she's going to be thinking she went in and thinking she got well. Well, that family was grieving. You mean the family that admitted March 27, 25 to an FBI agent? They were all lying about grieving, offended him. They were all lying to that agent. You mean that lying family? And those lying church people that were scamming him, trying to scam him out of money? Those people? Yeah. And if she's supposed to be mean to her women, now I'd already told the hotline. I haven't been part of that church in 15 years. Only visited twice in 2011. Here it is, 2018. When they were making up stories getting into another church, I visited with Dave to see if somebody would say something they didn't, and I didn't go back. Well, how would you know it's them? I know people in the mall. I have 3 witnesses that they're bragging that they're the ones trying to kill me with attempts. This girl, Katie, dates my brother-in-law, Tim, and she's leaving threats in the mall that it's been her church trying to kill me, or I wouldn't know. So, did he know I wasn't mean to the women? Absolutely. I had nothing to do with them. So, if she's supposed to be mean to the women, he's going to turn her back over to them. Can you imagine an agent saying that? You know, there's this one part. 2 girls walked by right before Dave came in. One was a thin blonde girl, sort of plain Jane. Pretty but not, kind of plain, but just plain. Short blonde hair, real thin. I told you we knew somebody who would take care of this for us. Help us get away with it and walked off. I thought, who are you? Dave comes in, let's go. We get out in the truck. He threatens to kill me himself. He goes for a loaded gun. I put my hand on the console. He pulls out. He starts beating me on the way home. I almost jumped out on the highway. I ran from him when I got home. Okay. Next day, Rivers of Tears. I called that agent back. I told him someone told on me. You liar. I tell him about a guy that threatened to knife me in China Eagle. He calls me a liar. Starts screaming about a camera above the bench. I don't know. I said, well, he tried to kidnap me before. And before I could say Terry Coberly seen him, he's like, oh, come on now. Even if a church person seen him, they'd never verify it. And that's why I didn't tell him about Terry. And she did, and let me tape her with her permission. He said, I've met with that family in my office. The one her father murdered her kid in vehicular homicide, and I wasn't even there. The ones that said they were lying to an FBI agent that offended him 6 months later when Strange called me a faker, that it didn't even concern them. They were all lying about everything just to get away with this. The big liars. Using their family's tragedy to kill and destroy and to steal from the government, to run a con on the FBI. Those people. The disgusting people. Yeah. Or I met with that family in my office that lost their kid in a traffic accident. The liars. All those church people, I know they're trying to kill you. He's the strangest liar of calling me a faker when he thought I was following Tim and Katie. And it was Linda following her husband. And he just made it up in 2003 and got rid of me real quick. Or it took me 9 months to get well. And it was medical malpractice, medication errors, and fraud. And it took me 9 months of slowly getting well. It had nothing to do with them, and I had nothing to do with her father driving at a high rate of speed, blew through a stop sign into a semi, and killed himself and their son. I wasn't even there. 6 months later, Strange calling me a figure had nothing to do with her father murdering her kid. And it doesn't even, like they said, it didn't even affect them. Didn't even concern them. Lisa's father killed her kid. They're all in there lying about everything. Of course they were lying. Okay? So the big liars are in his office. He knows they're trying to kill me. Why didn't he arrest them? They can't just go around killing people. I said I really was sick before. He liar. He said, was there a camera above the bench or not? I don't know. Say you're lying, I'll arrest you. And I said, what? He said, say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. I'm going to come up there and arrest you. Hear me? It's like, fine. Whatever. Like the lady said on March 5th, 26th in Bell Store, Friday at 100. They're releasing him bullying me on the phone to PlayStations, and it sounds like pure evil. Him laughing at her like that and bullying her like that. I know he sounds Satan possessed. Okay. He said, I want you to say you're fake and you were sick before. Well, that's ridiculous. I almost died from medical malpractice. I said I really was sick before. You liar. And then how he met with that lying family. And all those church people that were lying to scam him out of money. And he knew they were trying to kill me because strangers lied to cover up Tim and Katie. And he said, and you need to realize what you've done. And I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He actually says it. I said, I really was sick before. You need to realize what you've done, and I don't blame him for trying to kill you. Because somebody called me. I said, I really was sick. It took me 9 fucking months to get well. I said, I really was sick before. You liar. You say it or I'll leave you there. I said, but they've tried to kill me, so they've tried it. They're going to kill me, so. You say it or I'll leave you there. It's like, fine, just don't let them kill me. Why would the FBI help a person like you? They're going to try to kill me. So. They've tried to kill me, so. The other one yells out, well, we could always use Pete's tape. A word with yourself. I said, what are you talking about? The only Pete I knew is my brother Medina. I hadn't seen him in years. Talked to him on the phone. I said, what are you talking about? He's talking about some guy I found out Dave hired on his own to run a drug scam on me. Probably my rapist. They're mocking me for it. Some drug dealer. Is that bad? I said, what are you talking about? I said, something else. It has to be a black and blue mark. There were drugs and told us any stuff. I said, what are you talking about? He's laughing, stopped. She don't know. He said, well, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this psychiatrist for sexual disorders or wanting your brother. At that point, I almost yelled at him, why don't you stop lying? And I caught my breath, and I thought, what if that other lady that ran all those medical bills up in my name, what if it's hers? You know, I'm trying to make sense to nonsense. It's just nonsense. It's just a scam. Okay? I said, I don't even know who you're talking about or what you're talking about. He's laughing, stopped. She don't know. Give me a real reason. Okay? You didn't know either because that's how they made a fool out of you. And I tell him about my brother. I'm busy. I'll be out in a minute. I said, I told him about my brother-in-law, Craig, died working for the government. Okay? Described him. He said, first of all, have you talked to any law enforcement about any threats on your life? I said, the only 2 officers I've ever talked to is August 8th of 18, midnight, light the security system. We only have 3 cameras outside, none on the inside. I said, they came out and they said it looked like a alien orb, angry spirit told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. You're kidding. I said, no, they didn't want bothered. And I said, I've never even had my neighbors in my home. Is that what's going on? Do you know if Dave's cheating? And I said, I've never caught him. Dave verified it, December 9th, 18. I never caught him with anyone. He's laughing at me. She said she never caught him. Well, so did Dave. So why is that funny? It's not. So he said, well, I could take you somewhere and leave you with no money. I have no money to start. He said, well, if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches. He said, I can open a informant program. I said, well, I can do that. He said, I'm loading the money on the card. Today it's like $5,000 a month. He said, you have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you would we ever do this for. Always put it back as if it never happened, and you can't be legally charged for anything again for work in this case. Without the craziness of these people, I have 1 traffic ticket from 1989. That's it. I'm squeaky clean. That's where this whole chaos, why the craziness of these people, there's nothing. Literally, it's nothing. Like the officers who worked my case, that agent knew he had nothing to worry about, giving her immunity for life. He knew Karen had never abused him. I'd be afraid to do something wrong. I'd be one of those crazy people who told on myself because I was raised better. Okay? I was raised better. Dave used to call me Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way, Karen. You're such a Mary Poppins. You always have to do everything right. It makes me a good person. And I chose to be a good person. I chose when I was small to be a good, kind person. So we're going to put it this way. So where that agent said you'll have a life of peace as an informant, nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you and only for you. What do we do this for? We'll always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged again for working this case. He said, admit to no wrongdoing and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you try to tell someone, I'll tell people you're crazy, the FBI won't help you. He said, but if you need help, my best friend is the chief of police at Canton. He's a really good man. You can trust him. And he always makes sure the Canton police always protect you. I told my friend Walter from the Starr County Prosecutor's Office. He laughed till he cried. He said, first of all, that agent cannot bully you into false statements under threats. The police know they can't go along with it. He said, and he's only a higher police officer. It takes a judge due to the freedom of speech and like a jury trial to put a gag order on you. He can't even say it. It's illegal. It cannot be in any court order of him saying that you can't say anything. No judge can sign it. You get the money for working the case and only for working the case. He cannot misdirect it. He cannot withhold it. He cannot tell people they can't help you if you say anything. That is illegal. It is a First Amendment in the Constitution. Freedom of speech. Only a judge in like a jury trial can put a gag order on you. No judge could sign it that go to jail. He was only bullying you, Karen. He said, you don't realize you're in one of the many witness protection programs. You're not only in a forma case, but a threat and attempt to lie case. He said that can't be closed. He said the most the FBI can do is put you in another witness protection program. These people try to kill you, and they could wait and try to kill you again. You'll be in protected custody the rest of your life. You can get the money and immunity for the rest of your life for working the case and risking your life to get the government information, and they owe you. I talked to a criminal attorney. He said the same thing. I talked to Governor DeWine's cousin, Sheriff David. The same thing. And other police officers. 14th Amendment. You cannot withhold any protection from any U.S. citizen in any jurisdiction. So can you withhold protection? No. They can't even withhold it in jail. No money, no assets can be seized, but due process of law is also part of the 14th Amendment. The 7th or 8th Amendment, you have no money. How does it go? The gist of it, that no judge can sign over money. It's only by an impartial jury trial per documented injury set amount. Not by a judge, only by a jury trial. 4th Amendment, only police and agencies can be in a home under a threat of life with statements in a court order. 5th Amendment, you have the right to remain quiet, and then you have the right to an attorney. The 6th, the Constitution set up to keep everybody honest. And then HIPAA, no doctor can ever talk about you without your consent. They can't look you up without your consent. They can't talk to other people about you without your consent. These are federal crimes of 10 years, unforgiving for nurses and doctors with license. Your medical records are under the Act of Privacy. That's how crazy all this is. No one could do this. And that's why they're laughing at people like those girls. Their mom was running around telling people she was a psychiatrist and telling people no one to help me, no one to plead me. And it's just her saying it, and she's no psychiatrist. Of course, she's no psychiatrist. No psychiatrist would act like that, because they know they'd be looking at federal prison. Get the idea. And they're laughing at everyone. Now, think of what I read. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent that tells on you? It can go 20 years to life. Or calling for help. You can tell whoever you want. They can't tell on you. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if they try to tell an informant, if they say something that they will steal their money? 20 to life. It's blackmail, obstruction, tampering with a witness, obstruction to justice, tampering with evidence. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent that tells other police or anyone that they can't help an informant if they say anything? You go into attempted murder. It's 20 to 30 to life in federal prison. Obstruction and tampering with witness. And aiding and abetting crimes. Get the idea. Now, since I've never been prosecuted for anything, never found guilty, never sued for anything, how would they get my money? Only way they get it is identity theft. Now think of that agent, a victim calling for help, and all these people laughing how they lied to that agent and they were just in there to steal money from him, that he betrayed a victim calling for help. I was always told by the police it was an act. to get the drug dealers. I like my money agent John. That or Officer John or Officer Mark, you need to arrest Agent John. Because if he is actually stealing and giving it to the drug cartel, he needs to be stopped. People have died. People have been taken. I know you got a lot of drug dealers off my case. It was your guys' way into the drug cartel. And I got hurt horribly. I need a new name, new social medical card for me and Carl. And I need my money. And it's not for the drug cartel to blow on human trafficking and selling more people. I earned it. I almost died to save my family. And see, that's where those people in my neighborhood mock me. Some lady's going around saying she set up button cameras in her home. Da 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 da. And you didn't call the cops on her. She's supposed to be an FBI informant. She's not much to look at. You know what an FBI informant is? Do you know what informants are? They're regular people. That's all we are, is regular people. We are witnesses or victims of a crime. That's it. And we had enough courage when the government asked us to get information on people or things or times or whatever they needed to risk our lives to get them information. And we got them information that they needed. We are individuals that are just victims. Or have knowledge of a crime. Or someone in crimes that they want evidence on. That we had enough courage to risk our life to get them information. That's where they owe us the rest of our lives. Protected. We basically work like a civilian spy for them. You go in and get them information. And you risk your life doing it. So they take care of you the rest of your life. Because you went in when you didn't have to. You owed them nothing. And they owe you for that. I have a dent in the head. I was raped. I was tortured. I was human trafficked. I was drugged till I lost 70 pounds. I have damaged intestines. I have a damaged rib cage, damaged shoulder. I almost died. I like my money, Agent John. Dave in the church is my ass. Got your drug cartels. But I'm going to go ahead and upload this. But that's all informants are. They're just victims or witnesses or have knowledge of a crime or somebody in crimes. That we get information for the government and risk our lives doing it. We're regular individuals that live through something extraordinary and help the government. That's all informants are. People that had courage, that risked their life to get the government information. I like my money, Agent John.